So one of the things that we like to do at this point in the show is we like to tell you a little bit about what's happening in the market. And so for this time, we're actually going to talk about a zip code 752. Let's make sure.
40.
40. All right, because this is one of the times when I feel like there's so much clickbait, and I feel like there's such an interesting way to massage the numbers to get them to tell you like a scripture what you want to hear versus what is actually happening. So this is when we strip down and we're actually going into MLS, and we're going to talk just about this one zip code at this point.
So 75240 is a pretty well-defined zip code. It goes from the Dallas North Tollway all the way over to Central Expressway. That is Spring Valley along the top of it that you see there. It does dip down into it a little bit. And then it goes all the way down to LBJ. But oddly, there are 2 or 3 little neighborhoods that it picks up on the south side of LBJ. But otherwise, it's a very well-defined neighborhood. Great neighborhood to live in.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what's active right there.
So in that zip code, there are 58 current active listings that are priced everywhere from $127,000 all the way up to $4.7 million. So it's a very broad price band of what's going on in there. There's a lot of smaller condos that come into play that are on that lower end, but then you've got an estate type property or 2.
Right. So the other thing that we like to look at is what's the median sales price in there, because that kind of gives us that bell curve and lets us know where we're standing. And right now that sits at about $564,000 and change. One of the interesting things about the house that we're going to feature on the show today is actually $125,000 below that. So it does kind of like give you that comfort in knowing that you are below, which is a really smart way, because we always say that you make money at the point of purchase, not at the point of sale.
You just collect at the point of sale.
Yeah, exactly.
The days on market there is a little bit larger than we're seeing in other neighborhoods. There's average days on market of 90 days right now. That is a little bit skewed because you've got 3 or 4 listings in there that have been on the market for a really long period of time. You've got one that's 264 days, one that's 564 days. So that's going to skew that average a bit.
So we're going to flip now and go and move forward once a home has gone under contract and talk about pending. And currently there are 10 homes in this zip code that are pending. But this is what I found interesting. The median price point for pending right now is $647,000. That's a lot higher than what the median listing is. And that's not usually the case.
Usually the other way.
Yeah. So this is interesting to see. This is really a nice data fact that tells you kind of which way the inventory and transition of that market is going.
And there have been 7 homes that have closed in the last 30 days there, which is a good ratio considering there's 58 homes on the market. A little over 10% of those closed last month. Those are median sold price $535,000, and the average list to sale ratio is 96.3. So your sellers up there are still getting fairly close to their list price as long as they're reasonable about it.
Exactly, and I think that that's the important thing to know. Also wanted to point out that there was actually a sale on Purple Sage that went under contract in 6 days and actually closed for 101% of list to sales price. So there are still those markets where they are extremely hot. It's a one-off. Somebody has to have the house. So like the weather, real estate is very subject to where you are.
Yeah, very true.
So one of the things that we like to do is let you know that this is what we can do for you no matter where you are, what you're looking for. So if it's a zip code, if it's a school district, let us know. These are quick little portals that we can set up. You can get updated ASAP, or you can just get a single email every day as they come up. But it's a really good way to kind of know the history and the inventory so that you can make the best decision.
Great.